All right, hello, crafty friends. It looks like we're live, but I am just waiting for everything to update. There we go. Pardon me for the cough. I just saw that that was actually live. All right. Well, thanks for popping in today. For anyone that is joining me, let me see. I've got kind of a different view up here, and oh, there we go. It looks a little different, but that's okay because it allows me to see two different screens at once. So, all right. Well, I haven't been live in a while. I was gone for most of August, and then just kind of getting back into the swing of things. So today I am going to be creating with the Fanciful Pansies product suite from Altenew. We'll take a look at that a little bit later when I flip the camera around. But I think it's going to be fun. It's been a long time actually since I have done like a floral stamp stencil die combo. So I'm excited to create with it and feature it. And I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So I'm going to give just a few minutes for people to find me. And of course, if you're joining me live, feel free to drop in the live chat. Let me know you're here. And if you're watching on replay, hello and welcome. I'm glad you were able to catch the replay. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to just leave them in the video comments. Live chat won't be available other than for rewatch on the replay, but you can drop comments and questions in the actual just comment section. All right, let's see what else. Oh, before I flip everything and get going, I did join Altenew for their video hop yesterday. So you can see that under just the video tab here on YouTube. There are $300 in prizes up for grabs. So I think it's one $100 gift card code and then four $50 gift card codes, which, I mean, those are pretty large sums. So all you have to do is comment along the video hop. I used the Majestic Maple die set and the Fireside Escape, and it was so cute. I just loved how it turned out. I also used the Cozy Sweater 3D embossing folder, which I am going to showcase in today's live as well. Oh, oops, goodness. Oh, there we go. I go, okay, so weirdly enough, on my actual stream, comments weren't showing up, but I see comments here. So I think I'm just going to leave it here. So hi, Louise, and hi, Laura. I have had a wonderful summer, so thank you. Let me see if it's just this weird view that they're not showing up. There we go. I got them to show up this time, so that's good. All right. Well, Louise and Laura, I'm so glad you're here. I was like, there's nobody chatting. So I might pop in back and forth between these couple of tabs just to make sure that everything is updating and doing well. I am so happy to be home in Montana too, Louise. We are having a lot of fun. I share a lot of photos of Montana in my Instagram stories and what we're up to. So I do have like a little thing that I save in my profile. It's a little highlight and it just says Montana, and I try to save everything that I remember there. Actually just went through my history and saved a bunch of stuff today because I realized for a good couple of months I was not good about saving that. So, oh, hi, Peggy. I'm so glad you joined. Thank you. Even taking a later lunch to catch it. I appreciate that. Heather is messaging me, so I'm just going to message her back real quick and let her know that I'm live. Give me 1 second. My phone keeps correcting the word live to love. Thanks, Louise. All right, so let's let's get going. Let's get this camera flipped around and let's get going on today's project. All right, good. Okay, finally the stuff is starting to. So I need to move this camera in front of me. I apologize if it's a little squeaky. And then let me change over cameras. One sec. Oh, this is being a little, there we go. Okay, let me get that up here. Okay, so there we have, just waiting for it to update. Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right, so these are the goodies that I am creating with today. Oh, Heather popped in. Hey, friend. So these are the goodies that I am creating with today. So this is their Fanciful Pansies stamp set. This is their Build a Garden subscription, which, so not the cozy sweater, just these 3 pieces, which I believe was part of their subscription last month. So they go on sale regularly, I think the month prior. So it's possible you might already have these and you could create along with me. If not, I'm still rather new to the Altenew subscriptions, but these 3 pieces plus a mini blending brush, pardon me, are $29.99 on the subscription, which just blows my mind. Regular price in the release now, they're still only $39.99, which is a great price. But I was blown away when I saw the pricing on that. So if you like the floral stamp stencil die combo, the Build a Garden set is a great thing to subscribe to based on the price. Louise is asking for Heather and I to do a duo live soon. I think we probably should work that out, Heather. Okay. Anyway, so if you have Fanciful Pansies, I would love for you to craft along with me. If not, you can find just another floral set you might have, or you can just watch. That's totally fine too. So I also have some inks from Altenew. These are, I think it's the dried Petals set of 4 inks. It's kind of a pinkish tone. I have the Sugarplums, which is a purpley tone, but like a nice, like warm purple, which I love. And then Coffee Break, which is just a nice set of browns. So we're going to do these pansies. I know that pansies probably normally wouldn't be like light pink and mauve, but when you are stamping and doing all of that, you can really do what you want, right? So that's what we're going to do today. So let's go ahead and I'm going to prep my desk. I'm just going to move the inks up in the corner. They might be a little off camera. I'll show them later. That is right. Heather's daughter, her eldest daughter just got engaged. So Heather's got some busy time ahead of her for a January wedding. So, but we'll definitely try to figure it out. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and grab stamping platform and just some white cardstock. We are going to heat emboss these flowers today. I love a gold heat embossed flower, and I think it's going to go with the warmth of the colors and just the tone of the card and everything. And I think I gauged that at an angle, I think it's this angle, these can actually fit on an A2 panel, but maybe I gauged wrong. Hold on. I may have to adjust and cut another panel. Is it this way? Maybe it doesn't fit on an A2. Oh, wait, there we go. Found it. Man, that was a struggle there for a second, wasn't it? There we go. Got it. Found the sweet spot. Okay, I think everything is where, let me scooch it just a little bit so I have some area for the die to go around it. Okay. Gotta prep with a little bit of anti-static powder because we want that embossing powder to only stick to where we stamp. All right. And then I'm just going to grab some Versamark ink and we will get going here. Okay. I always like to stamp with embossing ink at least a couple of times. I think the anti-static powder really dries out your cardstock. And so I don't know if I think it kind of makes the ink sink in a little bit more at first. So I like to stamp a couple of times. As long as you align your cardstock into the corner, you should be good to go. And haloing happens sometimes. And if it happens, I'll just flip the panel over and start over. Not a big deal. Okay. Grab this again, and then I'm going to check it and see if I feel like it got a good stamp impression. I'm going to have to, I think I might stamp it one more time just because I feel like this little spot right here might still be a little light in terms of ink. So truly, I'm just going to focus mostly on that middle. This time I'll just use my fingers. All right. Yeah, that's so much better. Okay. I think we're good. I will clean that up in a minute, but I like to get the embossing powder added and heat set. And then while we let that cool, I'll go ahead and clean that off in a minute. Okay, let's see here. I am using the Hero Arts Iridescent Gold embossing powder. It's one of my faves. And you have to not worry about the fact that some of the mica flakes kind of stay behind. They, after you heat set it, they come right off. They rub right off. So I know the first time I did it, I thought I made a mistake and was like, what in the world happened here? And that wasn't the case at all. Apparently, I had something on my fingers up there. It's okay. I think the stamped image itself is fine, and that will get die cut away. So no worries there. Just was questioning. It was like, is that an image that didn't get stamped very well? But no, the whole image is in there. It's just some weird little extra. Okay. So there's that. And I'm going to heat set. I still haven't figured out if my new streaming software mutes the heat gun tool. So let me know in the comments. I might forget at the next one, but let me know in the comments if you hear it or if it's quiet. All right, That looks like it's pretty well heat set. I'm going to give it a minute to cool before I wipe off all of the little gold flecks. Let me kind of clean off my glass mat here. All right, and then I'm going to wipe down my stamp and put it away because I no longer need it. Oops, sorry if that made my camera kind of jostle a little bit. Okay. All right, I will do the sentiment later. So we're going to go ahead and put this away. Ooh, for now. We'll come back to that. Because now it's time to ink blend. So this should be nice and set up. So I'm just taking a cloth and buffing those little gold flecks off, and they buff right off, and then your image is nice and clean. Look at that. All right, so I'm gonna grab my very well used grip mat and get my image stuck on it. I like grip mats, especially when you heat emboss, because it kind of helps flatten out all of the areas where you might have a little warping from the heat on the paper. So that's another, I just love grip mats in general. This is the one that comes in the stamp wheel. I also think they sell them separately, but it is definitely a nice option. All right. Let's see here. It's so funny because I think stuff times out a little bit. There we go. Okay. So the stencils. This is, let's see, 1, 2, there are 4 stencils, and stencil number 1, if you can see it, there's like a little curvy mark, and it tells you basically you will flip these, and I think it tells you that on the packaging, or maybe it tells you that somewhere. Maybe it's in here. Yeah, I think maybe it's in here. There we go. It tells you inside of the packaging in the stamp to rotate it, basically, to do the second layer. And I kind of love, that's kind of ingenious, I think, just because I think it saves having, another stencil for a smaller set of detail layers. So that saves money. So I do like that Altenew looks at the stencils like that and doubles them up where they can, but still makes it pretty consistent. So you'll do this first part of the stencil and line it all up with the flowers, and I'll just do a little masking, and then you just flip it to add the next layer. So I think that's pretty ingenious. Okay, so I am going to just get this nice and aligned here. I always think when you heat emboss, you throw stuff off a little bit, just because no matter what, there's always going to be a little paper warping. Okay, and I'm just going to use a little bit of tape to reinforce. And then, oh, you know what? I forgot I actually have a little bit over here I can use for masking purposes, just because I don't want to blend everywhere. Now, I don't have round inkstand holders yet, so I'm just going to use my rectangle ones for now. They do fit in there, so I think I'm going to grab pale mauve and mauve, or actually I might start with amethyst actually for the flowers. No, I think I'm going to stick with pale mauve. Okay. I I can see that. I can get behind that, Louise, that they might take a little bit of getting used to doing the flip. Um, but I think in the end that's okay. All right, so I am going to try use these new to me little mini blending brush sets. So the Build a Garden subscription, or even if you just buy it when it releases in the next month's release, I think they always come with one of these. So what a great way to kind of um, slowly build up your stash of mini blending brushes. I think that is so fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to do two toned flowers here on these. There we go. We'll hit them to the top so they kind of stay in place. And these are ink colors I've never used before. So we are going to see how this goes. I think I'm going to do the two tones from side to side on it. Not sure why somebody just honked outside my door, but maybe somebody's dropping off a package or something. All right, that's really pretty. And so then I think this one I'm actually going to go top to bottom, like so. And then this one I'm just going to do opposite tones. And that is such a pretty purple. I am not the biggest purple person. I think I've said that a lot in the past. But this is a really lovely set. So you guys are getting to see a lot of firsts here for me. First time using these colors. I think this might be the first time I've used these blending brushes, but possibly not. I borrowed some blending brushes from my friend Chris while I was in Minnesota this summer, so it's possible I used some of these at her house. Okay, and then we're going to start with mauve on the other side. We'll do that down, blotting off down here. Okay, and let's see. Oh yeah, that's super pretty. Ooh, I love those colors. It's kind of exciting getting to know other colors that are out there. I'm still kind of in that world a little bit. That is so pretty. Oh my goodness. Right, so this guy, we're going to go from the top. Might have gotten a little bit too much of that pale mauve in there, so I'll blend over top of it a little bit with the regular mauve. And then finally, this guy. All right, let's see. All right, so there is the start. Peggy is saying purple is her favorite color. That's, I think it's a lot of people's favorite colors. And it kind of just depends. For me, it just really depends on the shade. But look at that. There is the start of our flowers. So pretty. So then we go over the top here and just find the area. And it looks like this is going to be some detail, like basically just adding some depth in here. Okay. There we go. Trying to find that sweet spot. Okay, so let's see. I am going to switch from pale mauve to amethyst and mauve. And you know what? I think I'm just going to deepen the mauve. I don't want to go all the way up to that Berrylicious color quite yet. So I think I'm not going to switch the pink tone. And I'm just going to double layer it. Okay. So let's start with amethyst over top of the purple section. I'm doing it pretty lightly. I don't want this to get out of hand by any means. I feel feel like that could get a little fussy, so I'm going to hold it in place here. Hi, Brenda. So happy you could join. Okay. Ooh, I did not even cover up my little pieces over here where I don't want ink to get, but I think it's okay. Okay. And then let's switch. We're just going back to the mauve, and I'm just going to add a layer of the mauve over top, just a little deeper. Hi, Miriam. Hopefully I said that right. Okay. I cannot remember if I did this, so I'm just going to run that over top. Okay. And stencil 1 is done, friends. I will clean them a little bit more extensively later, but first let's take a look at how pretty that turned out. Ooh, that is coming along quite nicely. Okay, so done with stencil number 1. Let's grab stencil 2. I think we're going to start on the leaves, and I am not doing green or aqua leaves for these. I'm going to do browns just to give it like a nice cozy warm feel. Thanks, Heather. Okay, we will layer these. Let's put aside, I will probably need these brushes again in a little bit, so I'm just going to set them up here. But let's start with sand dunes, and let's grab another mini brush. Okay, and let's get going on our leaves here. All right, just getting them nice and lined up. Oops, kind of tore that. I love to hear that, Brenda. Like I said, I'm still new to Altenew's colors, so I'm enjoying getting to know them for sure. Oh, you know what? I've got some little flower middles in here, which I'm probably going to want to be one of the colors. So I am just going to mask over them because I don't want them to be brown. And I'll come back in with a darker tone after I do the initial layer of leaves here. And I am actually going to wipe up my little sections where I blot off so I don't get any purple in my brown here. I love all the wedding chat in the comments. If you've been around or known me for a while, I actually photographed weddings for 10 years. So I'm a big fan of weddings. I think there's something so special and pretty about them, and I really enjoyed my time when I was photographing. I have since retired from it, but when I was younger and more sprightly, I really did love my time as a wedding photographer. Okay, so for the leaves, you'll notice I'm blending a little deeper at the base and then keeping it pretty light as I fade out to the end of the leaf. That's just a blending preference of mine to add some gradation here and there. So kind of up to you if that's how you like to blend or not. Oh, hi, Michael. I'm glad you're here too. No worries about being late. If you ever want to catch the first part, the replay will be available not long after, or actually immediately after. Or just might not be live comments. It's so weird. Sometimes the live comments are ready, like immediately available, and then sometimes it takes them hours to show up. It's very random. Okay, now I don't want to forget to do these little pieces, so I'm just going to pick one darker color, and I think, let me see, actually, let me take a little peek where they're at. So I think I'm going to use the Berrylicious, this darker shade of pink here. So I will need that pink brush. Oh, and yeah, that is pretty deep tone. So I am going to be careful. I don't want to get it in my brown at all. Okay. Go ahead, clean that off as best I can. And we will move on to the next stencil. That, ooh, I am digging the brown leaves. Okay, stencil number 3 is adding some more detail, and just a little bit more gradation into that greenery. Well, it's not greenery in this world, it's brownery, I guess. Okay. Don't think I have any flower details on here at all, so I think we're good. But I am going to move up a tone from Sand Dunes to Rocky Shore. Before I accidentally dip anything in that, I'm going to clean it up. Okay. And I'm going to start at the base and just blend in a little deeper and then just fade it out. Kind of like what I did with the first color. And then same here. Okay, and then these ones go from this angle. Right. Always, if there seems to be a place of the stencil where you might be able to get your brush underneath it, I always like to kind of hold that area with my fingers to avoid that. It's okay if it does happen, not a huge deal, but I do try to avoid it as much as possible. Right, and then all of these little stems here. I always love to see the chatter in the live chat, people reconnecting and stuff. I think that's like the funnest part about live streams, honestly, is getting to see people chat and hang out together, crafting. I think that's like super fun part. And I interject here and there when I look up and see. I think that's such a fun part about these. Oh my goodness, it's coming quite along. I'm digging this. Okay, we have one final stencil, and so this one has the rest of the greenery and also some flowers, a few more flower details on them. Okay, so I'm getting those lined up. Okay. I think I'll be okay. Well, you know what? I might just do a little masking right here because those guys are pretty close. But I'm going to start, I'm going to finish up the greenery first. Hi, Wendy. So glad you popped on. And I'm going to use Mocha for my final shade of brown. There is espresso in this color family. Sorry about that. This color family as well. But I think I'm going to stamp my sentiment in that color. So I'm going to skip it on the leaves, and I think I'll end up using it for the sentiment. Okay, so for these guys, it's this final shade of brown. We've got a couple of leaves that are just now being colored in with this brown shade. So those ones will be a little darker tone. I kind of really love the way that they chose to add the layers on this set. It's pretty cool. And there will be a little bit of white space left on the flowers, which I think is also really neat. I didn't realize that until I started looking at it when I was adhering this stencil down. And it's actually pretty darn cool. Okay. So I think we're officially done with the browns. I agree, Louise. Absolutely 100%. Okay, clean that up. I'm just gonna wipe that down a little so I don't accidentally drag. Okay, Berrylicious and Grape Act. I could be saying that completely wrong. Okay, so there's the purple. Okay, so let's see. Actually, I'm going to start with purple because that is how I started initially, and I think that will help my brain. So I know purple kind of comes from the bottom on this flower and then on the side. These are darker tones, so I am being pretty light-handed with them. Oh, I need to take that off, huh? Pretty light-handed because I don't want to go overboard on the blending. Oh, thanks, Brenda. I'm a big fan of brown for leaves, especially if you're wanting like a fall cozy vibe. I kind of love it. I think it's a fun addition. Would I do it every time? No, but I do think it's a really super fun addition. And then this is pretty bright pink, so we're going to also be a little light-handed with it. Okay. Yeah. And it really, truly, I'm mostly just using the remnants of what I dollop. I'm not sure if you can see where I kind of dabbed it off, but I had quite a bit left in here. So, okay, I think we are officially done with the stencils. Hi, Angie. I'm glad you're here too. Glad you're able to pop in. Okay. All right, let's take this tape off. I can use that when I go to die cut here in a minute. Oh, let's also get these. So I did not use the two darkest tones, the acai berry and the plum, but that's okay. Next time. And as if you guys know me, I don't tend to use the darkest tones super often anyway. So, okay. So cute little brushes. Those were fun to use. I really like how they blend. Okay, are you guys ready for the final reveal here? And ta-da! Oh my goodness. I really do love how that turned out. Like I said, I will clean the stencils a little bit more extensively when all is said and done here, but look at how fun that turned out. I just love it. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's gently peel this off of the grip mat. I am quickly going to stamp my sentiment. Thank you, Michael. I've got a piece of scrap white cardstock here. Thank you, Louise. Let's grab the stamp set. And I am going to do the Thankful for You sentiment because one, it has a die. Two, it's just kind of perfect for the kind of cozy fall gratitude theme we're going for. Okay. And as mentioned, I think I'm going to stamp it in espresso rather than black in order to keep it kind of that nice warm tone. Thanks, friends. I'm glad you like how it turned out. Okay. This is a pretty dainty sentiment, friends, so I'm going to stamp nice and lightly, and I'm probably going to stamp a couple times. I don't want to press too hard on the stamp. I don't want to ruin that daintiness and those little tiny lines. Oh, but that's just perfect right there. Thanks, Heather. All right. But just look at how great that turned out. And I think that espresso tone, even though I stamped it twice, will soften a little bit as it dries into that cardstock. And it will look, I know it probably looks almost, if it doesn't look black, it probably looks really close to black on the video, but I think it will soften a little. Okay, let's go ahead and put the stamp away. got our elements we got to die cut here in just a moment. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Miriam. Okay, let's grab the die set here. I love that these are on like little printed pieces of acetate, because when it makes it so you know where the die goes back. Sometimes sometimes you can't find exactly where the die is supposed to go back on the packaging, and that drives me crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna die cut the flowers from my bigger die cut machine, and then I'll use my little guy to cut out the sentiment. Thanks, Brenda. Yes, you definitely have to make sure that you choose to have a little bit of a lighter hand when the sentiments are so dainty. I am by nature a very light stamper, so dainty sentiments like that kind of work to my advantage just because I am a very light stamper. And maybe one more piece because I don't want it to shift when it runs through the electronic machine. So I will be right back with that, and then we'll cut the sentiment. Oh, Louise, I am just seeing your question from above. It says, do you feel like you have more control with these brushes? Yeah, these were great. I actually really, really enjoyed using these. I think you have a lot of control with them. I like that they're a little bit shorter. The bristles are a little bit shorter, so they don't, I don't think that these would slip underneath a stencil as easily as some other brushes can. So sorry I missed your question before, but yeah, I do think you get really great control with these brushes. I really do like them a lot. Okay, so let's grab this out and look at that. Look at how beautiful that turned out. Oh my goodness, these are so pretty. Okay, let's get all those little pieces off so they can go in the garbage. Okay, let's see. We'll see if this tape is usable again after this. I feel like sometimes when it runs through my electronic machine, it sticks pretty well, but this mint tape actually came off pretty decently. That one's sticking a little much, so I'm not going to worry about keeping it. Okay, so then what I love about this is there's a guideline to put it back on the die packaging, and that makes my type A heart super happy. I forgot to cut out that little middle guy there, but I'll just do that later. Okay, and then I need to find the correct die for the sentiment. I think it's this one. Sure is. All right, I am just going to trim this down because I don't need that full piece to run through my machine. And then I am going to grab my little blossom because this guy will fit through the small guy. I always like to use a smaller machine if possible. Oop, flip that the wrong way. I think it just saves the life of your large plates when you're cutting something so small. Okay. Make sure I got that nice and lined up here. Ooh, Angie, it's a good release. So I have a video yesterday that posted to my channel yesterday featuring the new a couple of new die sets. There's a lot of good stuff in the new release, so definitely check it out. I do have it linked in the video description below. So, all right, I think I might cut one more layer of this. And then I think I might cut a layer from some glitter cardstock as like a little shadow. Hi, Stephanie. Glad you could pop on. Oh, I actually didn't know. This is my first, this is kind of my first experience with Altenew, so I didn't know they had changed the packaging, but I do like it. So that's good to know. Okay, got a little extra piece, and then I don't think I grabbed any, so I'm gonna grab some ivory glitter cardstock real quick and cut one more layer. Okay, let's see. Just need to find a piece that's big enough. This little guy right here should work. And I will trim off the excess that I don't need and put it back. All right, one more time here, and then we need to emboss a panel, and then we can assemble. All right, perfect. Okay, this guy can go away for now. I don't think I have any more die cutting to do. And let's put away our die. All right, perfect. Slip this back in the packaging. Oh, maybe, here we go. Just like so. All right, so we have our sentiment and our lovely flowers. Just gonna get these up here over to the side. So finally, before we assemble our card, we are going to use the new Cozy Sweater 3D embossing folder. And I have just a really pale pink panel right here that we are going to emboss it from. I think it will be just a lovely background color for these flowers. So let's grab this, and oh, let me get my platinum over here. I'm seeing I've got a little ink on my glass mat there. Get those cleaned up. All right, I don't have a big enough space for you to see the whole process, but I will try to show it as much as possible here. So first things first, I'm going to do this off camera, just kind of over here on the side, but I'm going to spray the back with just one of those Mr. type spray bottles. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'll be back. Okay. So then let's line it up in our embossing folder. I think I'm going to align it a little bit to the right here, like so. And then I got to grab the plates. So when you are using a 3D embossing folder, you just need platform base A, and then you add the embossing folder with the paper in it, and then you just need adapter plate D, and it runs through. It shouldn't be too hard to run through. If you feel like you're really having to push hard on the handle, it's probably too thick, and you probably need to adjust your settings. But look at how beautiful this turns out. And what I love about it is both sides are awesome. So both sides are totally usable. I like the debossed sides just as much as I like the embossed sides. I think they're fantastic. Okay. So that is, or excuse me, that is the final piece. Those are all of the pieces. So we can go ahead and start working on assembling our card. I'm going to put all of the products I used up here in the corner. I do have a pre-folded card base. And I think first things first, I have to decide which side I want to use. And I think I'm going to do the debossed side this time. On the card you saw yesterday, I used the standard embossed. I think I'm going to go opposite this time. And I just love how it looks like a sweater. I know that's what its name is, but I just love how it turned out. All right, so I'm going to glue this directly down to my card base, edge to edge. I'm not trimming. I'm just going to go do edge to edge here. And it's possible I will do some surgery on the flower, I might chop it and put some of it everywhere. Not completely sure yet, but I think I might. Yeah, you're definitely, oop, I'm gonna flip that. I want that big cable on the left, closer to the left-hand side. Oh, I love to hear that, Stephanie. It's such a good one. I foresee myself using this embossing folder a lot, especially this fall and winter. It's so versatile, and it really can go behind pretty much anything to give it that cozy fall feel. All right. I think I've got that nice and aligned here. Okay. So we have our flowers. And we have our sentiment. Let's actually go ahead and get our sentiment put together here. I'm going to start just by layering the two white pieces together. Of course, the stamped sentiment on top. It is a really good one. I love this embossing folder. And then I want to decide where I think the shadow layer should go. I think I'm leaning on the top. Yep. So then I'm just going to add a little bit of glue just along the top here. I'm going to grab some tweezers. And we're going to do that like so. And then I'm going to use tweezers to kind of hold it in place, because it does take a little bit of time for stuff to adhere down to glitter. Ooh, and it's moving on me. Don't do that. Let's start over. Start that again. I just was checking to make sure it hadn't moved, and then I made it move. Probably should just not mess with it until it's set in place. Okay, so flowers. Let's see. So I kind of like the thought of the sentiment there. And then, ooh, actually maybe more like here. And then we can kind of trim and put the rest of the flowers up here in this corner-ish. Okay. So once I like the placement, I'm going to do this, like so, because everything's in the confines of the card. And actually, I'm going to grab a pencil. Okay, and then, oh, apparently I need to trim a little bit off the edge of that. So I'll do that too. But I am just going to draw a line where this guy approximately needs to be cut. It does not have to be perfect by any means. But I am going to trim. Apparently my panel is just a little bit too wide. So I am going to trim that excess bit off real quick now that I saw it. Just gently, no one will ever know you didn't cut your panel exactly perfect just by trimming it. Okay, so now I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to just cut along my penciled line here, like so. So then this part's going to go up there on one side, and then this part's going to go over here. And in the end, the sentiment's probably going to go either here or here. I think I like it down on the bottom a little bit more. So I might align this just up a little further. Not sure yet. Not sure on that yet. Let me see if I align it further down. Ooh, it's got a little perfect place for it to go right there. So then these ones I'll align at the very tippy top. That's super pretty. I like the little bit of white space. I'll probably add some sequins or jewels up there, but that is just lovely. Okay, I'm going to just very gently add a little bit of, I'm gonna fluff my flowers here a little bit. And then I am gonna add just a little bit of foam tape to the back of this flower here. And then maybe just on the side of this larger one here, like so. And then I'm going to add just liquid glue. Maybe this guy is being a little wonky here. There we go. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue along that edge. Oh, I need to remove that release paper. Okay, so this one I wanted to align as close to the top as possible, like so. And you can kind of ruffle those edges there. Okay, this one's this one has a teeny tiny little spot right there, so we've got to be careful when gluing it. Once it's glued in place, it will be great, but I don't want to rip it. Okay, and then being very ginger with this, I'm going to align it as close to the bottom as I can. Oh, I think I might be doing that off camera. Sorry, friends. Okay, there's that. Can kind of fluff it again here. And look at how pretty that turned out. Never be afraid to cut your flowers apart. And then I think the sentiment's going to tuck in here with the leaves, and I'm just going to add some little like jewels or sequins in that upper part. Love the flower surgery. Thanks, Heather. All right, this guy I am going to pop up with a little bit of foam, some thin foam strips here. Okay. Thanks, Brenda. Thanks, Louise. Appreciate that. Okay. And I could have also done a pretty gold shadow layer for that sentiment too. That also would have been really pretty to match the gold embossing, but y'all know I kind of am a big fan of ivory glitter cardstock, so I think right there looks really nice. Make sure it's relatively straight. Okay, so finally, I think I want to just do some like clear sequins, but I did not grab them out. So bear with me for a second while I rummage around and find the sequins. I will be right back. Okay, I have just some regular clear, and then I have some that are kind of like holography, and I think I'm leaning towards the ones that have the little bit of the holographic tone to them. So I think that is what I will use here. I'm just going to grab a little bit, put it out on one of these, because this is a very full little thing. Oh, thanks, Louise. I appreciate that. I think that's very true. I think that's a good point. Thank you. Okay, let's kind of get these. Ooh, that's a big sequin. I don't think I'll use that one, but all right, let's see. Oh yeah, those are pretty. Super pretty. I like those. And they kind of play off the colors in the inks. I always love that too. Just a couple trios and duos here and there. Sometimes I think there might be multiple sequins stuck together. It's either that or this one's just really thick. But it is not coming apart, so it must just be a really thick sequin. Like so. I'm trying to keep them on the raised surfaces as best as I can here. This one is just not cooperating. Maybe they got a little bent. Like I can tell that one has like a bazillion. There we go. When they get stuck together like that. Ta-da. And then let's see. Maybe kind of here. And you know what? I'm going to switch these guys around a little bit. Like so. Where did that mid-size go? There it is. And a tiny dike. And I feel like I need one more up here. Maybe this side. There. I think that is lovely. There. I think I could fuss around with where sequins go all day long, but I will make a decision and stick with it. Oh, some of the glue is, oh goodness, coming through the little sequin middle, but that's okay. It will dry clear, so no worries on that. Hey, cooperate, please. I don't use sequins very much, and I think this is why they do not cooperate very well with me. They stick to everything and not in the way that I want them to. Thank you, Wendy. There we go. I'm just going to use a little more glue and just make them stick. There we go. There we go. Okay, friends. That is my card for the day. I talk to all of my supplies, especially when I'm crafting by myself. We have really good conversations. It's a little one-sided, but it's fine. All right, there is my lovely, fun floral card today. I kind of feel like the sentiment needs to move up a little bit. It's bugging me. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now while I'm thinking about it. I think I'm going to need to reinforce the foam adhesive anyway because of the embossing underneath. So I'm going to have to add some liquid glue in there anyway. But that, disobedient, but oh so pretty. That is a fact, Laura. They are very disobedient. Get that stopped up here. Close all the things. And thank you guys. I'm so glad that you liked how my card came together today. I love that, Wendy. That's awesome. Okay, give me just a minute to switch this back around to me. Oh, hitting the wrong button. Maybe. There we go. Goodness. Okay, get this camera out of my face here. All right, friends. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I had so much fun. Just getting my screen back up here. I had, oops, goodness, so much fun crafting live with y'all. And I hit my 1 hour mark, just a few minutes over. So thanks, friends. Thank you, Heather. I appreciate that. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it, guys. Well, I'm going to get this guy photographed and the thumbnail updated. If you're interested, I will, right now, just the basics are linked in my video description. I will get the full link list all finished up with the embossing powders and all of those things, and I will add a link to the full supply list in my video description. So if there's anything that you want to shop for or grab when you have a minute, that will all be linked in my video description. So don't forget to check out the video hop for Altenew September release was yesterday, and there's $300 in prizes up for grabs there. Tomorrow there's a blog hop which I'm joining, so if you want to get notified of that, there is in my video description there is like a stay in contact. You can sign up for emails. I send everything out via email, or you can just bookmark my blog. And so that will happen tomorrow, and then an Instagram hop on Saturday, and I'm participating in all three. So, and there's lots of prizes to be won, so you'll definitely want to check them out. And I think other than that, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you get on with your day. It's about lunchtime here in Montana, so probably should grab some lunch and then continue on with my workday. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for the past hour and creating a card. And anybody who's watching on replay, thanks so much for joining. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free just to leave them in the video comments. I will talk to you later. Oh, I'll be live on Friday, again at 11 a.m. And this time I'll be featuring Pretty Pink Posh's new holiday release. So if you have some time on Friday, I hope you'll join. Bye.